We're back at Lanier Raceway in Gainesville, Georgia. Ron Williams along with Glenn Jarrett as we begin our coverage here on Sports Channel America of the 1990 NASCAR Busch Grand National Racing season. We've completed 8 laps. We're under caution. Bobby Moon brought out the first yellow flag of the night. He spun over in the second corner, Glenn, and got trapped kind of down on the inside lane. Then Billy Standridge got mixed up with him, too.
Yeah, I think all Standridge did was get a little high as he went by him to avoid that, and he just barely tagged the wall, so he didn't really hurt anything.
We're going to take a look now and show you exactly what did happen. If you look at the top right-hand corner of the screen, you can see here as the cars start to get out of shape, it's on the left side as they work into the second corner. Standridge and Moon got together down on the low side. Everyone else went high to get around them. There you can see Bobby Moon's car down low and Billy Standridge just outside of him. They're going to have to hook the wrecker up. We can see Bobby Moon out of the car. He's wearing the white driving suit, says Kowalski Racing Engines on the front. He's walking back to the pit area. So the 85 car apparently will be out for the night.
Evidently, you know, it didn't really look like there was that much damage done to the car, so it must have, you know, I didn't see that much contact, and it doesn't appear to be bent up too badly, so something else must have happened to the car also.
Hate to speculate. Maybe he dropped a drive shaft, something like that, that might have caused the car to come to a sudden stop over there.
Could very well have happened, you know, could very well be, Ron. He started to drive the car off, you know, after he spun, and then all at once it lost power, so got to suspect that there's something else amiss there.
Tow truck brings the 85 car back to the pit area. We work on lap number 10 now, circulating under caution here at Lanier Raceway for the You Can Rent 200. Moon's car coming in on the hook, and it does not look to have been damaged at all, as we speculated when we took a look at that replay. Cars continuing to work behind Chuck Bown, your early race leader. We understand a couple of more laps until we put them back under green. Jimmy Hensley has just turned in a terrific job so far here in the early going to move right to the inside and pick up second spot.
Well, he has. You know, he didn't waste any time in testing Chuck Bown down on the bottom. We've got 1 lap to go now before we go back to green, but Hensley showed some muscle early on.
Absolutely. Seems like he's got things hooked up. Here's the running order. Top 5 after 11 laps. Chuck Bown and Jimmy Hensley 1 and 2. Then Kenny Wallace, Tom Peck, and Tommy Ellis has moved to 5th. Bobby Hamilton will be 6th on the restart. Safety car moves in, and Chuck Bown slowly brings them out of the 4th turn, looking for the green from Bobby Scruggs, and we're back underway. We're racing once again, and Bown takes him back into the first corner as your leader. Jimmy Hensley sitting back in 2nd. Kenny Wallace is 3rd, then Tom Peck and Tommy Ellis. Sports Channel's Ralph Shaheen is handling the pit chores for us tonight. He's standing by with Bobby Moon.
Bobby, what happened to you out on the racetrack to start here? I was trying to get under Patty, and we went into the first turn and got together, and I think it broke a steering box or something. Well, now you came into the pit, your car went the other way, and the crew went running to the car. Are you going to try and get the car fixed and return to the action? Yeah, we're going to try to fix it and get back in the race and pick up some more points. All right, well, we're going to let Bobby Moon go to his car and help get the crew and the car back out onto the racetrack.
All right, there you heard the problem, a broken steering box on Bobby Moon's automobile. Glenn, we're back under green, and it's still Chuck Bown, your leader over Jimmy Hensley. We're noticing that Tommy Ellis is fading back off the pace.
Tommy Houston, Ron, he evidently has a tire, car number 6, way in the back of the pack. His car is extremely loose right now. He's got a problem of some sort, so he's really fallen off the pace.
Definitely the case. Chuck Bown continues to set the pace. He qualified quickest here today. Sat on the pole. Tommy Houston brings the Rosa Stores car in for an early unscheduled pit stop. His crew ready to see him, and they wave him right on through. The yellow comes out. Yellow flag comes out. L.D. Ottinger has had a problem apparently also. He's off the pace and out of the racing group. And Billy Standridge now with some problems up in the 4th turn. So a couple of the cars and drivers getting out of shape here very early in the You Can Rent 200 tonight here at Lanier Raceway. And we're back under caution for the 2nd time tonight. Standridge getting his car back in gear and pointed in the right direction. Standridge, a veteran driver. He's been at this quite a while out of Shelby, North Carolina, the Standridge Auto Parts Pontiac.
Billy has had a bad start to this season so far. He crashed the car in practice at Daytona, so he's not having much better luck here tonight.
We'll take a look at the replay. L.D. Ottinger got out of shape up between 1 and 2.
He simply went down too low and got in some water, and the car broke traction.
And Ottinger's coming to a stop against the wall. He was able to get the car back in gear, pointed in the right direction, and going again. Tommy Houston, his tire problem, now he's in under caution, and they're going to have to change, it looks like, right side tires on that car.
Yeah, he definitely had a tire going down. You can see the car really loose as he was making his way around the racetrack. And you know, when something like that happens, you have no call except to make a pit stop, and Ralph Shaheen is there.
Well, Glenn, they did change the right rear tire. In fact, the crew is over here taking a look at it right now. We'll see if we can get our camera crew over here and take a look at it. You can see the smoke and steam pouring off it. Yes, they found the hole. That's exactly what the problem was with Tommy Houston. He has a new
right rear tire, and hopefully it'll make the difference for him here this afternoon.
Tough break indeed for that great veteran who's won 2 of these events so far this year, Glenn.
Well, it is a tough break, particularly this early on in the race. However, also involved in that is the 2-lap penalty. He's changed tires under the caution now. That is a penalty under current Busch Grand National Racing rules.
All right, cars continuing to circle. The Lanier Raceway pace car is back on the speedway surface here. We've got some other bumps. It looks like we'll be going back to green in just a moment. L.D. Ottinger up alongside Tom Peck's automobile, and Ottinger's got some front-end sheet metal damage there, Glenn, on the right side.
Looks like he got into the corner, got into the back of somebody. That might have been what turned him around over there.
Could well have been the case. We saw that replay a moment ago. L.D. lost it between 1 and 2. Here's the green flag. We're back under green conditions, and Chuck Bound in car number 63 of the Nescafe Classic Pontiac continues to set the pace over Jimmy Hensley. Kenny Wallace, L.D. Ottinger now no longer on the lead lap. Tom Peck remains in 4th spot. Tommy Ellis is 5th. Bobby Hamilton with a good drive is 6th, but your 2 leaders, Chuck Bound and Jimmy Hensley, really going at it nose to tail up in turn 1.
Yes, they are. You know, early on, after a restart or at the beginning of the race, Jimmy Hensley is able to put a lot of pressure on Chuck Bound. But after they run 4 or 5 laps on the green, Chuck's car starts to pull away. So it might be that, you know, Jimmy's car runs a little quicker on fresh tires, but as the heat builds up, Chuck seems to have the upper hand.
Now, we talked about the weather today and how it's rained off and on. It's washed much of the rubber off the surface. What does that do in the early stages of a race? The track's real green.
It makes what we call the green surface. That means that the cars generally will stick better, okay? But it also...
We've got trouble on the main straightaway, and again, it's Billy Standridge. We'll get back to your point in a moment, Glenn. Billy collects the car, but he got into a wall and left some sheet metal on the surface. We can see from our location here in the broadcast booth behind the start-finish line. So the caution back out again for the 3rd time tonight already. And
in 3 of those cautions, Billy Standridge has been involved in all of them. He's not having a very good night.
All right. Well, Billy Standridge is back on the speedway, but he'll have to go pitward. We're under caution for the 4th time tonight. Sports Channel America's coverage of NASCAR auto racing will continue after these messages. Welcome back to Lanier Raceway, Gainesville, Georgia. Live coverage of NASCAR Busch Grand National Racing on Sports Channel America. I'm Ron Williams alongside Glenn Jarrett, and we're about 30 laps into tonight's You Can Rent 200. We've had several caution periods. Here's the cause of the most recent one, Glenn. Patty Moise and Billy Standridge hooking up in the 4th turn.
Yeah, it looks like Billy got a little out of shape as Patty was trying to come under him, and he went down and hit her car all along the right side. She has since made a pit stop to check her tires, so I'm sure that she's in a penalty situation also.
Here we see it again. This is our speed camera shot as the cars come right at you toward the start-finish line. There you can see Standridge out of shape and Patty Moise hooking him in the front corner of the car.
Yeah, Patty was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Billy was already out of shape before they ever made contact.
Sports Channel's Ralph Shaheen standing by pit side tonight. He's with Billy Standridge.
Well, Billy Standridge is back in for the 2nd time, Ron. In fact, they're continuing to make adjustments to the right front. In fact, they're fixing the brake ducting to the right front. They're pulling away body panels that have been ripped apart due to the incidents that he's had already this afternoon in this event. So they're making a lot of adjustments to the car. Lamar Walker, the crew chief, overseeing all the adjustments. It looks like they're making quite a few changes to the right front suspension. We'll get a chance, we'll get a word from Lamar and see if we can't bring you some details on exactly what it is they're doing to the car.
All right, thank you, Ralph. He's pretty much taking care of all 4 corners as we watch the Donnie Ling crew, the 66 automobile, being pushed back behind pit road toward what would be the garage area here at Lanier Raceway. Young Donnie Ling Jr., former modified driver. Let's take a look at the top 10 as we move toward the 30-lap mark here at the You Can Rent 200. Your leader has been Chuck Bound since the green drop. Jimmy Hensley has been dogging him. Kenny Wallace sits 3rd, then Tom Peck, Tommy Ellis. And the second 5, Bobby Hamilton out of Nashville, Ward Burton, a Virginia driver, Robert Presley, Dave Rezendes, and Dana Patton. As we have completed now 29 of the 200 laps, Brad Teague, one of the strong runners in this series, has also gone pitward in his Charlie Henderson automobile, and he's been a strong contender many, many times over the years.
Yes, Brad's always tough anywhere he goes. I think they made a chassis adjustment on his car. It didn't seem to be handling quite up to his expectations. They took advantage of this caution period to make those adjustments.